Today, we are diving deep into the wild romance of Megan Fox and Machine Gun Kelly. This is a story that kicked off with these huge cosmic declarations of being twin flames, but it didn't take long for things to spiral into public darkness and even poetic confessions of pain. We're going to break down exactly how this modern fairy tale seemed to just completely unravel.
Okay, so right at the very heart of this whole saga is this one concept, the twin flame. This is the term Megan Fox used from day one to describe their connection. And for her, this wasn't just, love. It was something way deeper, like a single soul that got so advanced it could split into two different bodies, fated to find each other again. And yeah, that whole idea, it really set the stage for what we, the public, first saw as this fated, once-in-a-lifetime kind of love story. It was intense, it was immediate, and it felt totally all-consuming.
I mean, their relationship just ignited. And it happened only a few months after Fox separated from her husband, Brian Austin Green. They meet in March, and by July, it's official. It was a true whirlwind, going from a movie set collaboration to a super public romance at just, incredible speed.
And it wasn't just her. The feeling was so mutual and so intensely public. They were both incredibly vocal about their bond. As Machine Gun Kelly put it, seeing her for the first time was like looking through a telescope into all the secrets of the universe. He framed it as this cosmic, unavoidable thing, not just attraction, but like a deep soul-level recognition.
But as the relationship went on, their public displays of affection started to take a much darker turn. They began introducing these rituals and symbols that a lot of people started to find, pretty unsettling, even disturbing.
It really started with the engagement. MGK himself explained that the ring was actually designed with thorns of emerald on these magnetic bands. And the design was totally intentional. If she ever tried to take it off, it would literally hurt her. As you can imagine, that little detail immediately sparked a ton of concern online.
And this comment just perfectly sums up the public's reaction. What they were framing as this incredibly romantic devotion, a whole lot of people saw as a massive red flag. The whole love is pain idea got called out as a really dangerous and toxic message.
And if the ring wasn't enough, then came the blood. In the actual post announcing their engagement, Megan Fox just casually drops in the line, "and then we drank each other's blood." Of course, this caused a total uproar. She did clarify later that it was just a few drops for ritual purposes, and she defended it against people accusing them of, Satanism.
So all of this weird public stuff is happening, but where we get the real inside look, the most detailed and, frankly, harrowing account of the relationship's dark side, comes directly from Megan Fox herself in her poetry book, Pretty Boys Are Poisonous.
I mean, some of these poems have just incredibly graphic descriptions of physical violence. Fox was really clear in interviews that none of the poems are fictional. She said they're all based on real-life experiences she's had, not just with one person, but through her whole life in different relationships.
What's really fascinating, though, is how self-aware her poetry is. There's one line, "I'm addicted to suffering," that just points right to her understanding of being trapped in this traumatic but also addictive cycle. She even writes about preferring agonizing psychological abuse to the quiet of a normal life.
And this poem, wow, it just paints this stark, brutal contrast between a private hell and a perfect public image. It's all about that feeling of being slowly destroyed on the inside, all while you have to put on a flawless face for the cameras.
And here's where it gets really compelling. You can literally draw a straight line from the themes in Fox's poetry to things Machine Gun Kelly has admitted about himself in public. She writes about a physically harmful partner. He admitted to snapping at her. She describes a numb, distant partner. He talked about being high AF all the time to cope. It's like her art and his reality were mirroring each other perfectly.
So you have to remember, she wasn't writing this stuff in a vacuum. It all coincided with a very real and very, very public breakdown of their relationship that was playing out for all of us to see on social media.
It all went down in early 2023, and the digital breadcrumbs were just impossible to ignore. First, Fox purges her Instagram of all their photos. Then, she posts this cryptic video of a burning letter and captions it with that famous Beyoncé lyric about infidelity. And then, poof, she just vanished from the platform entirely. It was clear the twin flame romance was in some serious trouble. Then, sometime after all that public drama, Machine Gun Kelly made this absolutely shocking confession in a documentary. He described a horrifying phone call with Fox from around that time where, in a moment of crisis,
He actually put a shotgun in his mouth while she was silently on the other end of the line.
So after all that chaos, it's really no surprise that they've both pulled way back from the public eye. Fox has said that the status of their relationship just isn't for public consumption anymore. But she still says that as her twin soul, there will always be a tether connecting them, no matter what happens.
And really, this whole saga, this absolute roller coaster, from the twin flame fairy tale to the blood rituals, the painful ring, and those poetic confessions of abuse, it all leaves us with one huge, provocative final question. For celebrities who build their whole brand on their romance, how can we, or even they, ever really tell the difference between what's performance and what's reality?